If you've been looking at your life and thinking, you know what, I'm really not living my best life. There's some shit I'm really struggling with, and maybe it's time that I do something about it, then I want to share with you what you could gain by being part of the Positive Regression Network. This is a community where you'll learn the foundational skills to get you on track and keep you on track with your goals, working to build a life that you can actually be proud of. As a guy, there's so many things that we have to get right. And if we don't get them right, we get punished by society. And there's very little support or empathy for anyone who makes a mistake or struggles to fulfill all of these obligations. Women demand that a guy is ambitious and successful, but also that he has plenty of time to spend with them. They demand that a guy be open and honest about how he feels, but then think he's weak and pathetic if he expresses his struggles. Or they make it about themselves, about their feelings and their need for support. We're told we should be strong and take responsibility, look out for those less fortunate than ourselves, expected to make the sacrifice, while also being told that we're toxic because of our masculinity. We're expected to be fit, financially successful, and completely in touch and control of our emotions without ever needing outside help or support. And if we don't have all of these things, then we're shunned by society, seen as being a failure or lazy. But here's the thing. I think that we actually should be and can be all of those things. We can develop ourselves physically, financially, and emotionally. Now, not for women or society, but for us, because we want to be the absolute best versions of ourselves. But the good news is that we don't have to do it alone. So let me take you through the unique system that we use in this community that ensures you experience a complete transformation of your circumstances within a matter of months. So let me share my screen with you now and we'll go through it. All right, let me just take you quickly through what it is that you'll gain as part of this community. So the key here is to transform 4 foundational aspects of your life to get you doing well psychologically, physically, financially, and relationally. We take a holistic approach to life and look at the 4 pillars that really make up what a good life is, and look at ways that we can improve each individual region. Now, of course, if you're doing well psychologically, the likelihood of you doing well physically and financially and relationally is much higher. And likewise, if you're doing well physically, that's going to improve your confidence. And so all of these categories are intermingled, they're connected. And by taking that holistic approach and looking at how we can improve every aspect, you're going to experience a real transformation of your life. And we help you gain that transformation. So you're probably wondering, well, yeah, okay, how are you going to help me do this? So the aim in this community is to focus on the things that actually matter most. There's a rule called the 80-20 rule or the Pareto distribution, the Pareto rule, which dictates that in life, roughly 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your effort. And you've probably experienced this in your own life. You've spent a little bit of time doing something and had a massive return from that. Or likewise, you spend a lot of time and a lot of energy working on something and it's basically turned into nothing. So this is essentially a natural law that the vast majority of your rewards will come from a small portion of your efforts. And what we aim to do is to look at the skills that are going to actually bring you the furthest, the fastest, and teach you those, rather than focusing on all of these really niche aspects that are, you can work on those later on. We can always finesse our approach, but it's about getting the skills that are actually going to make the difference first, and that way you're going to experience that transformation and really start to feel like you're moving somewhere, you're going somewhere, you're improving, and you're getting those results. So we build out foundational skill sets. A big one that I already mentioned is the subconscious reprogramming. This is something that many people aren't aware of. But when it comes to why you're not performing well in your job, or you're not doing well relationally, maybe you can't go to the gym or can't stick to a diet, it's not usually a lack of knowledge. It's not that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. It's just that something is holding you back. Those are your subconscious programs. And we tackle the subconscious. We look at ways that you can understand your own mind and ways to reprogram your mind for success in these given fields, so that you're actually it becomes so much easier when you're not fighting yourself, when you have your mind on your own side, then going to the gym, getting fit is a piece of cake. When it comes to earning a lot of money, it becomes so much simpler because you're being drawn to these opportunities. You're able to see the opportunities that are going to make you a lot of money because your subconscious is aligned with your purpose and what you want out of life. We also focus on things like communication and negotiation. My experience from building business in London, working for myself, the majority of my life has been that if you want to get far in life, being able to connect with people, being able to communicate your value, communicate in a kind way that makes people like you is worth its weight in gold. It can't be overstated just how important it is to be able to communicate effectively, to be able to negotiate on your own behalf. And there are techniques and there are tools that you can learn in order to be able to do that most effectively. And we teach you those. And we also focus on values and principles. Now, this might seem like a funny one, but when it comes down to it, if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, if you don't have a really good reason for tackling adversity, for standing up and going against the crowd, you just won't. You just follow what everybody else does. And the world is full of that. We've experienced that to dramatic extent over the last few years, COVID and things like that, where people didn't have anything to stand for. They didn't know what they stood for. And so they just lied, or they were cowards and didn't stand up and say what they thought and what they thought was right and act that way. So a big part of wanting to develop ourselves as men and to become leaders in our own lives and in the lives of others is to know what we stand for. And that's going to make this whole process so much easier. And there's a framework that we use to help you develop your values and your principles that are going to then help align you with something that's going to keep you going in life, something that you can aim at and aspire to. That's what that's about. So those are some of the foundational skill sets. There are many more, and this community is constantly being expanded. But that gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can, how you stand to benefit from this community. And again, it's an integrated methodology. We look at every aspect of what is required to make you into a powerful, capable person. And we build out those skill sets in combination with each other. So what you'll get as a member, you get weekly live Q&As. Everybody has their own challenges and their specific needs. And so in these Q&As, you get the chance to ask your own questions and get answers specific to your situation. We have weekly live webinars where we'll teach you different skills, different subjects. You can gain insights into your own psychology, communication, persuasion techniques, that sort of thing. You'll have access to challenges and courses. Challenges are a great way of taking that theoretical knowledge and immediately applying it into your life to start getting those results as quickly as possible. Because this community, it's not just about learning stuff, it's about application. It's about what can you put into practice in your life to get the results that you're after. That's what these challenges and courses are great for. And of course, you get to take part in a supportive and active community. It can be really challenging to develop yourself when everybody around you is looking at you funny, thinking, who are you to sort of try and improve yourself and what you think you're better than us? And if you're going alone, it can be really challenging. So being part of an active and supportive community is, or just a way of really helping you to implement the things that you need to implement and be supported along the way. We don't have to do this alone. There are men all over the world that want more out of their lives and they're willing to put their work in, and you get to be part of those guys, these men that are going somewhere, they're making something of their lives. And you'll have access to VIP guest speakers who will come on and talk to you about their specialization. So you get really unique insights into these different subjects that are going to help you, again, move forward as quickly as possible. Now, I want to make it as easy as possible for you to get started in your journey. And a big part of that is getting some advice and some external insight into what you need to be focusing on first. It can be quite challenging when we're feeling stuck, we're feeling overwhelmed, to look at our life and to see everything that we need to do and to figure out what it is that we need to be starting with. So for the first 50 members who sign up, I'm going to offer a free one-to-one session with me where we take a look at your specific circumstances, your situation, your goals, what it is that you're really wanting to get out of life, what it is that you're wanting to work on first. We take a look at that, look at the skills that you have, look at the skills that you need to get, and come up with a plan to actually implement those things as fast as possible. So you really feel like you're working on those things that are most important to you as quickly as possible. And that's only for the first 50 members. And it doesn't say it there, but you can see on the community just how many members are in the community. So you'll get an idea of how many spots are left. Now, before I leave you, I want to say just one last thing, which is we need to take responsibility for our lives. We don't want to wake up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 40 years from now, and look back and realize that we just wasted our lives. We're here for a short time, and the point of life is to experience everything that we can, to become everything that we can. At some point, you need to realize that whatever you've been doing that has brought you to the point where you're at now, if you're unhappy with where you are, it's your fault. And if you want to get different results, if you want to be in a better position, at a different position in 5 years' time, then you need to do something different. This is that opportunity. It's the opportunity to go, I'm going to bet on myself, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, and I'm going to become everything that I can be. And that's what this community is for, to help you in that journey, to help you in that process, because we all need some help. We all need some assistance from time to time. You don't have to do it alone. So hit the join button, take responsibility for your life, and I'll see you in there.